Right back at y'all with another one. Me and Mr. Dozy about to give y'all this NBA playoffs. It was a bunch of games over the weekend, and we definitely want to come back and give y'all this live talk. We had the Lakers versus the Timberwolves, the Magic versus the Celtics, the Heat versus the Cavs, Warriors versus the Rockets, the Knicks versus the Pistons, and the Thunder versus the Grizzlies. We had a hell of a weekend. Shout out to everybody that enjoyed their 420, their Easter weekend. It's back to get back to your regular scheduled program. And me and Ronnie going to talk about these NBA playoffs. So it's good, Ronnie. How's everything? Did you see the games over the weekend?
Yeah, man, I checked out all of them, man. I was in full playoff mode, man. You know what I mean? I had to check the final games of the play-in Friday, and first round of the playoffs was good, man. First round was real good, man. I really like what I seen from a bunch of teams, man. I'm excited. I'm excited, bro.
Man, I'm disappointed, man. My Lakers, fell short. Them boys definitely, I give it to the Timberwolves. They definitely came out there and did what they did. But I take my hat off to Anthony Edwards, man. That boy is a star. You know, he's a star to make it. You know that boy, Nas Reeves was shooting them threes. McDaniels, Anthony Edwards said Jalen McDaniel was the MVP that night. Did you watch it? What you think about that game?
Yeah, the Timberwolves Lakers game was we Laker fans, man, so it was definitely disappointing. It might be Lakers in 6 now, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we're gonna pull it off in 5, man. It might be Lakers in 6 now, but yeah, I think the Timberwolves played a real good game. They played a big man's game. I think you can I think they kind of exposed what we're missing and lacking down low. Like we just wasn't able to get a lot of second chance shots. You know, um, their big men were not only spreading the floor, but they out rebounded us. And so they were able to get those second and third opportunity shots, and like that's important in the playoff, man. Like you can't really have missing pieces on the floor because these coaches are top level, when it comes to coaching, and you're going to get exploited. You're going to get taken advantage of once they find your weakness, man. So I think the Timberwolves did a good job of staying aggressive. Um, it was I would have I seen Luka got started early, pretty strong in the first quarter. So I think if he would have kept that momentum going into like the second half, it would have been a way more exciting game. LeBron really didn't show up the way I wanted him to show up until like the end of the game. So it took a while for him to get in his groove. So I think we gotta utilize Jackson Hayes more. We're playing against the Timberwolves. I think we definitely are lacking down low, man. So it exposed that, and I think I think Coach Reddick gonna have that situated, and we're gonna be ready to go, on game 2, man. How you feel about it?
I think the Lakers is they had a week off. They had a lot of days off. Timberwolves probably had the same, but the Lakers had more days off or whatever the case may be. So I feel that the Lakers didn't have to play the last game. The Timberwolves did. So the Lakers had it. I think it's a little bit of rust that they're going to knock off, but I think the Lakers are still Lakers in 5. I think the Timberwolves just got lucky. They caught a Laker team that that was a little rusty or whatever the case may be. Austin Reed did his thing. I think he had about 16 points. Luka Doncic did his thing. He had about 31 points. LeBron James had 19 points. Overall, they had an overall good game. It's just that it was the defense, and the boys were just shooting those threes like it was nothing. So I understand that when you shoot that high level, they had more 3 pointers than the Lakers had field goals at one point, my brother. So at the end of the day, I think we're going to come back. JJ Redick going to come back and devise a scheme to stop that, to protect the 3 point line. Because at the end of the day, now we're going to let Anthony Edwards go out there and score a million and just cover the 3 point line. I don't think they can sustain that type of play, because if the Lakers shut off the 3 point and just let Anthony Edwards go crazy, that's what the Lakers going to have to do, because it's not that they were struggling or whatever the case may be, because the game was still in the fold. It was down by 13, with I think 11 and change left to go. So the Lakers did come back, but it's just that and there's some of these guys, they haven't been in the playoffs. They getting their first playoff experience. Rui Hachimura is getting his playoff experience. I think Dorian Finney-Smith got playoff experience. Jarrett Vanderbilt getting the playoff experience. Jackson Hayes is getting some playoff. So these guys are going. It's going to take time to gel in the playoffs because LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reed been there. But overall, I believe the Lakers going still in five. JJ Redick is a hell of a coach. Don't get me wrong, the coach over there for the Timberwolves is great as well. So, it's going to be unbelievable to watch and see what that series about. So, but I believe in what you think about. Do you think Luka Doncic need to hold off on the refs? Because some of them points that they were scoring is because of Luka Doncic was crying. So sometimes you can't cry on to the refs and then not get back on defense. What you think about Luka?
That's Luka's game, man. Like Luka is gonna complain anytime the shot. I've seen Luka make the shot, get fouled, get the foul called, and still complain. Like I've seen that multiple times, even last year with the Mavs. He gets the and one, they called the foul, and he's still complaining. I'm like, what else do you want them to do? You know what I mean? Like they gave you the foul, brother. Like, I don't know if he wants them to call it quicker or whatnot, but like, I think that's just a part of his psyche. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Draymond. You know, Draymond gonna go out there and argue with the refs. He did it last night. There was actually one play with Draymond where he actually argued with the refs and forced Steve Kerr to challenge the play, and the play actually they won the challenge. So I mean, sometimes I think it works into a lot of these players' favor, but I think we're lacking on defense, bro. We're just not a defensive team. We gave up the best defender, to me, the best down low defender in like the last 5 years in Anthony Davis.
I
And
think, if you ask me, it's another one we gave up. And if you want to say that Zubac, when Magic Johnson gave up Zubac, look what he's doing over there for the Clippers. We had Zubac.
yeah,
Magic
yeah,
traded him at the
yeah,
trading deadline before he walked out. So we
yeah,
had Zubac, but look how he's flourishing over there with the Clippers. So that's another one to look at. That's another big that we let go. You know what I mean? But one thing about it, I don't think Anthony Davis was great, but I don't think LeBron James needed another guy to handle that ball, because at the end of the day, LeBron James has to play off the ball. It shows that ever since he started playing off the ball, look where the race business has been going. So I would say Anthony Davis held him back. I think Anthony Davis held the Lakers back, not LeBron James. He
yeah.
did
No,
great.
I
I don't
yeah,
think
I
Anthony
agree with
Davis
that too.
held like LeBron James back. I think it was the Lakers overall, because they couldn't go out there and find nobody. LeBron James has a no trade clause, so you're not getting nothing for him. So, or if you had to trade for LeBron James, you would have had to tell him. So Anthony Davis was just a core piece that you was able to have, to where that was the prime piece, but you had to get. That's who was holding the Lakers back. Which the Lakers, not LeBron James. I just want to clarify that LeBron James, he did not hold LeBron James back, but the Lakers overall as an organization, I think he held them back because there's other pieces they need, and obviously he was a token to get it.
Yeah, I think even though the Lakers traded for Luka and they got Luka, and I mean I don't regret it. You know what I mean? I love Luka's game, but I think which Rob Pelinka tried to do with Mark Williams for the Hornets. I think like we should have went out there and really got another big man as well, and that Mark Williams trade fell through, which I think that was a good missing piece to what we needed for right now, because we need, like, the way Nas Reed was playing. I mean, he was hitting so many threes, bro. It was kind of like, what do you want to happen over there? You know, like you got late closeouts with Rui, with Austin Reeves on and Nas is in the corner busting threes. Now, like what you said, like that's not really gonna continue every single game, so they're not gonna be able to keep up that 3-point percentage, you know, for the whole series. But it was scary to watch.
I
I'll be
mean,
honest, it was scary to watch, man.
but when I look at it overall, I just look at it as a lot of people have great games and everything, like I said. But one thing about the Lakers and JJ Redick, he's a coach of the year candidate, and he's not a coach of the year candidate for nothing. I believe he's going to check all the boxes and take care of the X's and O's and be able to go out there and try to teach these guys how to defend the 3 point line because that's the only thing I see that hurted him. Rudy Gobert didn't have a great game. All these guys had career nights probably behind the 3 point line. So
Yeah,
overall, I think that the Lakers will come out there. I think it's Tuesday night and definitely show a different side and definitely bring their A game and then go back to Timberwolves and take home court advantage back. But overall, that was a great game. But we're gonna go ahead and get to the next game. Let's go ahead and touch on the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's go ahead and talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, man, and that stinker of a bomb. I think Memphis Grizzlies destroyed people Easter Sunday. I mean, you went out there to go look at a great game and take your kid to the game on an Easter Sunday and say we're gonna go look at a game, and that was a demolish, a beating, a lynching, a stomping, a rousting.
yeah.
They lost about 51 points. Is this a blemish? Do you count this towards a Ja Morant, or do you say it's not on Ja Morant? Do you put this on Ja Morant because you know Ja Morant got hurt, so we don't know how healthy he is? Talk to me about the Ja Morant, how this affect him moving forward.
I believe more than how it affects Ja Morant, I think it's really credit to OKC though. You know, I think OKC came out with a real good game plan. I think their role players really stepped up and really like executed what the coach had in mind. And it lets you know that this is not the OKC team from last year. This is not the OKC team that's gonna leave the playoffs early. Like they're here to go to the Western Conference Championship and maybe compete for a championship. You know, I don't think I've ever seen the Grizzlies get dead like that. And you know, like Jaren Jackson, it was at one point. I think it was like maybe late in the third or early in the fourth. My man had 2 points, bro. He was like
And
one
he
for 11.
and Jerry Jackson, not to cut you off, he's a defensive player of the year candidate as well.
Yeah, but see, they need him on the offensive side too. You know, like if you're not gonna show up on the offensive side, then and you're not stopping them on defense, then what are you really doing?
But that boy Jalen Williams, man, and the other Williams and Shea Gilchrist, Alexander, and Sheck Holmgren, them boys just came to play. Them boys came to play. You see, SGA is just. I shout out to him. I think he's the MVP of the league. The way that boy is just so silky smooth. Shout out to SGA. You know, if I had a vote, you would get my vote for MVP. But I think Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, and those guys came to play. And I like on that fast break when Jalen Williams came down and he threw the ball and he just threw it down. I think that was on Zach Edey, and that's when I said these boys just came to play. I think this was a statement game to let Memphis know we not playing with you boys. This is what it's going to be moving forward. At the end of the day, me and you already said on our last episode that this is just a formality. They're going to be able to go to OKC and see the weather and be able to see the scenery. But other than that, I think this is over and for. What you think?
Oh yeah, like bro, like this game itself, you could have set Shea in the middle of the third quarter. Like he set the whole fourth quarter and didn't play. You know, he had ice on his knees by the fourth quarter. But
So the
he could
game was over at halftime.
yeah, it's like you could have set him down. I think they were up by like 32 or 35 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. I mean, you could have set him down then. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, to put a beating like that on a team in one half to where it's just no hope left. I mean, Josh set the whole fourth quarter. You got to think, like you said, people bought tickets thinking that they're about to see two of the best guards go at it for 4 quarters, and literally by the third quarter, it was nothing else to watch. Like, and these dudes didn't even play. You're watching the backups play all fourth quarter, which is really good for OKC because that gives these young guys playoff time, playoff experience, playoff run. Where if someone, God forbids, if one of the starters do go down, they've already gotten on the court, experienced this with no pressure. So it allows them to be able to like come in and fill those gaps if necessary. Or if you have some guys foul out for whatever reason or get technicals, get thrown out, you got some guys that's already like they pretty much ran their whole roster, it seemed like.
You're right. At the end of the day, they ran the whole roster, brother. When I looked at that game, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie, I clicked off it. I couldn't even watch the whole game. I was putting out highlights. If you check out my page, Mr. 444 Sports, Mr. 444, where we talk business, finances, and sports, and how to bring other companies up. This is one thing I had to put this on my page, man, because some of the things that was happening, man, through that game, man, Ja just looked it out of it. Ja looked, be honest with you, Ja looked like he won out. I think Ja should go ahead and go to a bigger market. At the end of the day, he do need a new change of scenery. He do need they fire their coach, but it goes back to firing their coach. They don't have no leader. They don't have no guy that's going to that's going to check the X's and O's. The OKC coach is running circles around the probation coach, the AAU coach. Come
Yeah.
on now, this guy from Memphis, he's a step in, and maybe firing that coach a little early, you know, playing a part in how you draw plays. So it's mind boggling to see how they move forward with basically an interim coach. So everybody know when you get an interim coach, he was there, but he wasn't in the trenches. He didn't call timeouts when he wasn't there. So I believe
Yeah.
this is showing his ugly head with them not having a coach and firing that coach. But Denver's doing great with firing their coach. Hopefully, but see, they got veterans and people that knew how to win, that had that championship aspirations already and got a taste of championship. So sometimes the coach, when you already have a level of sustainability in the playoffs and going far, basically you got a script already.
Yeah.
Memphis Grizzlies don't have a script to where the interim head coach could look at and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. How to check the X's and O's." But it's crazy to see where Ja go from here. Jared Jackson Jr. is up for a contract year this year. He's looking for his supermax to make All NBA team. If he make it, he's eligible for the supermax. I want to see what they do over there. I wonder if they're going to go ahead and see if they can bring in somebody like a Kevin Durant or somebody in free agency. But it's yet to see. But let's go ahead and move on and talk about that Clippers and Denver game. Russell Westbrook
Yeah.
came alive. Russell Westbrook came alive, and I believe he was when he made that three from the start and against his old team. Russell Westbrook came back and saved Denver. But Jokic was great as usual, but that was a great game in overtime. Kawhi Leonard did his thing. James Harden was doing his thing. Everybody did their thing, and Clippers is on to come up if Kawhi could stay healthy. I believe if Kawhi would have been a healthy person throughout the season, I believe Clippers take Denver. But right now, it looks like that's going to be a hell of a series. But I'm turning that one over to Denver. What you think about that game?
Now, I mean, the thing is, I think Denver was supposed to win the game, but I think it was too close for comfort too. you know. And so when you got a game that goes into overtime at your home, that's uncomfortable. Like that's an uncomfortable feeling for the home team, you know, especially when you got home court advantage, you have playoff experience, and the Clippers are technically supposed to lose that game. You know,
Right.
it's the fourth seed going up against the fifth seed Clippers, you know, so it's supposed to be a close game, but this supposed to be a game that the Nuggets win. And I think that the fact that, you know, I think James Harden is playing amazing. I think this series might go 6 or 7 games. You know, I don't think you can count on Russ long term. You know, I think Russ has his spurts. Russ has um his games where he's gonna play very, very well, but he's gonna have his game where he makes a bunch of errors too, turns over the ball, you know.
But one thing about Russ can get you in and get you out. But one thing about he got that ultimate eraser. He got the biggest eraser that anyone got, and that's Jokic. He has an eraser
Yeah,
that could be able to sustain some of his bull crap. The Lakers didn't have room for error when he was with the Lakers. They didn't have room. They needed it's like a symphony, and he couldn't go off top. Now go over to Denver. It's not a symphony over there. You
yeah,
know, it's just drummers that he could play the cymbals. The cymbals could come in any damn time. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, you're going to hear the drums, and then
yeah.
you're going to dance to the beat of Jokic.
Yeah,
So
I
at the
think
end,
too.
so
If
at,
Jamal Murray would have got started a little bit early and more consistent, I don't think the game would have been that close. I think Denver would have won it in regulation, but he just really didn't come alive until like late in the second half.
Jamal Murray's hurt because he didn't play the last few games, and he's a question mark for me in this series because and moving forward in going towards the championship because he's not something is about him that the way he's moving, he's playing. A little lift, a little boost, something about Jamal Murray that's missing. And something's wrong with him. I just can't see it. He's not playing to the way he played last year when they won the chip or the year. You know, they not. It don't look like he's chasing that right now. I
Yeah,
understand that they are the defending champions, and I understand that.
yeah,
But I don't think Jamal Murray is playing with the hunger as he did before. I don't. And then I think Caldwell Pope played a huge part in that series. So I want to see who's going to be in that Caldwell Pope place that came in because when Caldwell Pope was a major intricate to that band. You know,
yeah,
Caldwell Pope was a major intricate to that band, so I'm mind-boggling to see how that goes. But Denver came out with the winning overtime. Um, Jokic did his thing. Michael Porter Jr., Eric Gordon. Shout outs to all of them over there, and I'm yet to see what happens in that series. Now, what about the Knicks and the Pistons? Oh my God, dog! Shout outs to New York. I know everybody out there in New York is happy. They getting this food's goal. It's making us like think we think of something. But I didn't take nothing from that win because at the end of the day, Knicks is like the Murphy law. What will happen will happen. So at the end of the day, I'm not sold on the Knicks winning the game, but I like to see. I like how Jalen Brunson came and did his thing. I like how OG and Ginobili came in, Carl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart. But Lamb, boy, let's talk about Jeremy Lamb. He was the biggest difference maker. He came in, did 8 straight points, and got the Knicks back in that game. And if it wasn't for Jeremy Lamb, the Pistons would be sitting pretty. What you think?
yeah, man. I think the Knicks are gonna win this series. You know, um I think this was literally everybody on the Pistons, you know, like literally like their first big playoff, game. Like this was like and on the biggest stage, at the Garden. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's not gonna be it's a comfortable series for the Knicks. I think I like the way Isaiah Stewart plays. I like his aggressiveness, his toughness, him getting down there and making things a little bit gritty, a little bit physical. But I think the Knicks are ready for it. I think they prepared for it. I don't think the Knicks are going to lose to the Pistons in the Garden. I think so. I think the best thing for the Knicks to do is to try to get these dudes, out early.
You know what? Shout out to Marquise Morris on the first take when he said, I think Marquise Morris did say when it comes to the Garden, he was up on first take. Shout out to first take, Stephen A. Smith, Smiley, Curran, and the people. Good morning to them. They do a great job over there at first take. And I'm glad that they got Marquise Morris coming on calling games. The boy is smart. I think y'all should give him a spot on first take, but that's just me. But he did say one thing about the Garden, which is just hard to play in. So the Knicks got to protect home court advantage. So it's hard to win in the Garden, but last year we see what Tyler Halliburton did in the Garden in Game 7. But at the end of the day, those boys wasn't healthy last year. You got a healthy Knicks squad. Hope Tibbs don't run them into the ground. But so far it's looking good. But Jalen Brunson is a little hobbled. So I'm kind of skeptical. It looks like he's hobbled a little bit. One small trip, one turn of an ankle, Jalen Brunson is out for 2 or 3 games. He was kind of hobbled. So their whole season depends on Jalen Brunson. If he can't go and somehow he gets hurt, the next season is over. What you think?
Yeah. And I think, when you talk about last year, one thing I'll definitely just be honest about, and I'm not, a Knicks fan or anything, but they didn't have Cat. And Cat is a difference maker, man. Like Cat is a dynamic player. He's a special player. And I think he was a really good piece to be added to this team with keeping their core, as well. So like I think as long as I think even if Jalen Brunson goes down in this series, I still think they're going to win this series. I just don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs without Jalen Brunson. But I think they can get past the Pistons.
If I look at it last year, I think they could have got past they could have got past Indiana out the first round without Cat. It's just that they was built with too much minutes. And then Jalen Brunson got hurt. At the end of the day, he was hobbled last year. Everybody was hobbled. They was averaging 48 minutes. So, and it went to 7th game without Cat. I believe that if they would have stayed healthy, I believe the Knicks can win this game. But Jalen Brunson is a whole big part of them winning because I believe they could have won last year. But I just being that now, Tibbs got Cat, Brian, Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench to give these guys some minutes. They got different players. Even if you go back to what Mikal Bridges said at the end of the season, Tibbs was putting too much minutes on him. So sometimes you can have it just that let's see how the minute flow, how much playoff time these guys average. Because I believe if Tibbs give them some rest, I believe, and Jalen Brunson stay healthy, I believe the Knicks got a good chance in Game 7 this time around, opposed to last time when Jalen Brunson was hobbled and got hurt last year. So it's yet to see, but the Knicks, I hate it because the Knicks fans is getting food go. They getting psyched up and think they're gonna win and think that they getting up hype and happy. And this is just a bunch of letdown. So I just want you to let your Knicks fans know it's a bunch of letdown. Don't believe it. I'd like to give a shout out to my boy Bugsy out in New York. He think this is going to happen. Bugsy, I'm here to tell you they're going. The Knicks is going nowhere. So everybody that thinks the Knicks is going somewhere. I'm sorry to tell y'all, this is fool's gold. Lakers is going to win the chip. The Lakers is going all the way. So if y'all feel the Knicks, this is disappointment to the Knicks fans, and I just hate it. Bro. I just hate it. What the Knicks people do to the Knicks fans, and this is blasphemy. I think there should be criminal charges against James Dolan to what he's doing to these Knicks fans. It's assault at at the 10th power. I think the Knicks fans should go somewhere and rally because you know what? They didn't win nothing since 73, my man. They didn't win nothing since 73. They're pathetic. They need to go sit down somewhere. As a matter of fact, come over to the Laker fans, y'all. You know what? I got a purple and gold jersey for y'all. Because stop getting upset. Stop getting disappointed. And then you go home crying. And you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You want to burn your Knicks jersey. Burn the jersey. I got if ever you want to convert to a New York Laker, to a Laker fan, I got a free jersey for you. Because, Ronnie, these Knicks fans is pathetic. Can you tell these Knicks fans something, please, and let them know they haven't won since 73, please, Ronnie? Because I'm tired, man.
Listen, bro, that I always compare the Knicks fans to Dallas Cowboys fans.
There you go.
You know what I mean? It's like it looks good. It always gonna look good. It's a big market city, so it's gonna look good. I remember when the Knicks first got Carmelo, and they were like, "Oh my God." Bro, it's never going to change, bro. Like, it starts at the top. And I think, like you said, with this dude Dolan, I think, like, as long as he's running the team, to be honest, if Knicks fans are honest with themselves, they don't deserve a championship with this owner, bro. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like with the Cowboys. If you look at how Jerry Jones runs the Cowboys, it's like, man, he doesn't deserve a championship, regardless of how good the roster is. It's like, man, I didn't forget how the Knicks treated Charles Oakley and carried him out of the stadium like he was a person, like a protester who ran on the court.
Picture Jeannie Buss doing that to Magic Johnson, Charles Oakley, A.C. Green, James Worthy, Kareem. Come on, now we just don't do that. We don't act like that. The Knicks fans is so pathetic, man. I'm telling you, Ronnie. I feel sorry for them. You know what? Every year I wear a black suit for the Knicks fans. Next time when the Knicks lose, you're gonna come back and see me in another black suit. But you know what? The Knicks fans, they don't even want to go play his band and go get his band. He only cares about the band, man. Your owner's a band man. Your owner's a band man. You know what I mean?
They need new management.
All you Knicks fans, if you tired of your owner running around in band videos, come down to Lakers. We'll have you. If you tired of your owner, come down to Jeannie Buss. We all take you. But overall, man, Ronnie, man, but it was a great playoff weekend. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about that Magic and Celtics? Paolo did his thing, man. Paolo did his thing, Banchero, but I didn't know that him and Jason Tatum was like friends, and he looked at Jason Tatum as a mentor. Now that I understood, so he's playing against his mentor.
Yeah, I think Banchero is a really good player, bro. Like, I think last year when I was watching him play, I compared him to LeBron, man. He has a LeBron body type, and the way he plays the game, he's driving downhill almost every play. So he wants the contact, he's expecting the contact, and then his body can handle the contact. Like, you remember when LeBron when he was playing for the Cavs, and he was just like dominating Toronto, like going to the hole almost every basket. It wasn't even like jumpers like that. Like Miami Heat LeBron was a lot of jump shots, but Cavaliers LeBron was a lot of like going straight to the basket. I'm stronger than y'all. Y'all can't stop me. And I think Orlando is going to make it a tight series, but I don't think that they're going to be able to withstand what the Celtics does, man. Like, Porzingis is just amazing. Drew Holiday You know, I teach my son when I watch the game with my youngest son, I literally tell him, don't watch the person with the ball. Like, don't watch the game like a fan. I want you to study Drew Holiday. Watch him
That's
on
smart.
offense and defense.
That's smart. Don't
Yeah,
watch the man with the ball. Watch around him. Watch how they run around him so he could set them up. So the person without the ball sometimes is the most important player. Sometimes the person with the ball, they not they know they focus on him, but everybody else is a lot of things you got to watch. That's great. That's a great analogy when you told your son that.
yeah. And if you do that, if you watch Drew Holiday, if you watch Jalen Brown on the defensive end when they don't have the ball, even when the person that they're guarding doesn't have the ball, they're swiping at the ball when someone else is guarding, you know, that guy. So they make the game uncomfortable for these players. And I think Banchero, he's just a really good player. He's a really dynamic player. He can hit jump shots. He can drive to the basket, but it's just not enough. You know, like when you got Porzingis hitting threes, and then you get Tatum hitting threes, and then you got what's my guy, the short light skinned guy for them, the bald head guy.
I was just talking about him.
His name, yeah, Derek White.
White.
When he's on, I mean, it's nothing you can really do, man. They just got too much firepower.
It's just that and them boys, all them boys can shoot.
All of them, bro.
All of them boys can shoot to threes. I think Boston lead the league in 3-point shots made. You know, overall they lead the league in 3-point shots. So overall, you know, one thing I'm just kind of upset that Joe Madula, that was it made Udoka's championship. You know, Joe Madula, you know, took over. He's doing a hell of a job, but I would love that to see what Ime Udoka doing. A shout out to what he's doing over there with the Rockets. Last night, the Rockets and Warriors, that was a low scoring game, 85-95. Why was that? It was a great defensive. Jimmy Butler, once again, Jimmy Buckets showed his face again. You know what, man? Playoff Jimmy is real now, man. I'm sorry. I didn't believe it. I kept saying, you know what? Anybody that could take off 60 games, 40 games through the year, like a Kawhi Leonard. If you look at Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard's career is not sort of the same, but it's sort of similar. Jimmy Butler is always out in the season.
Yeah.
But when it
Jimmy Butler has a way of being able to affect the game so much, bro. Like I knew Jimmy Butler was real during the bubble. That's when I really felt like this dude is for real. I remember when we came out there with the Mamba jerseys on, we thought we was just gonna end the heat. And I mean, he showed up and just gave his all. Like you can't say that he cheats the game in the playoffs. I think in the regular season, he just gonna be what he gonna be. You know, um, I don't think he's motivated by like first team all defensive team and first team defensive or none of these type of awards. I don't think MVP is anything he cares about. He's only thinking about the playoffs, bro.
he's getting paid. Jimmy Butler has been able to dictate his whole career and dictate not only where he goes, dictate where the money he gets. So at the end of the day, he's getting paid above market. He's
Yeah,
getting paid what the market says he gets. To a player that sits out like that, to a player that could sit out like him and Kawhi and get market value,
yeah,
that's just unbelievable. So when it comes time, what everybody's saying, what Kawhi is doing, I say if you could just take that much years off now, LeBron James sit there and take 40 to 60 games off and come back in the playoffs, I think LeBron James will average about 30 points because you're giving him fresh legs. So when it
yeah,
comes to Jimmy Butler, if you look at how many games Jimmy Butler played opposed to LeBron James, Luka, or a Steph Curry, he's always a rejuvenated player. Every time this is his format. That's why I
yeah,
say this is playoff Jimmy is real. He's going to start calling Kawhi playoff Kawhi because if Kawhi could sit there and take off 60 games, he should be able to come back in the playoffs and average 30 points. So it's mind-boggling to see that. But Jimmy Butler did a thing like you said. Draymond Green last night, it looked like he forced Steve Kerr to challenge that play. I
Yeah.
think. What you think? Did he make him or did how he and then he was right.
Yeah, he always be punking Steve Kerr, bro. He always punking Steve Kerr. Like Draymond is not scared of what Steve Kerr says at all, bro. He always punking that man. You know, he punks that man in the challenge and stuff that Steve, like most coaches will look back at their assistant coaches and think about if they want to challenge the play. It's been plenty of times where Draymond comes to that bench snapping and Steve Kerr just challenging it just to calm Draymond down. You know, I've seen Jokic do it too. You know, where it's like, you know, Jokic is complaining and he's throwing a tantrum, and Draymond does the same thing. But Draymond was right in that situation. So that's the thing too. It's like, is I think Draymond, in order for the Warriors to win this series, Draymond has to stay on the floor. And the only way he can stay on the floor is not getting thrown out of the game. And that's going to be hard, bro, because if you remember, he actually pushed someone right before they challenged that play. And the thing was is he didn't get a tech called on him. You know, but Draymond is going to like show his emotions, and when you playing a player like Dylan Brooks, you can't do that. You can't do that, bro. Because Dylan Brooks is going to do what he does, bro. And I think I think they gotta stick A-Man Thompson on Curry all game. All game. Like I think one of the things that they need to do is start off with like Fred Van Vliet guarding Steph, and then knowing that Steph is gonna be coming around the screens. So then what happens is they need to have A-Man Thompson pick him up after the screen, because what is happening is that like they're having A-Man Thompson guard him straight up, then he's coming off of these picks, and then you have like Sangoon out there trying to guard him. So I think that the coaching, Ime Doka needs to be a little bit more smarter with who they
Last,
start off with, Steph.
last
You know,
night you had Jimmy Butler with 25 points, Steph Curry with 31 points, Brendan Polinsky with 14 points. One thing about that boy Polinsky, he's played good to step in for Trey Thompson. He's playing very well to step in for Trey Thompson. It's Clay Thompson, excuse me. At the end of the day, that boy can shoot just like it's just that he don't have the defense that Clay Thompson had. But that boy is definitely stepped up and just do his thing. Gary Payton, the second play last night, he came off the bench with 7. He was their leading scorer off the bench with 7. Buddy Hill had 2 points and Gul Santos had 5. But it's kind of mind-boggling to me because it's only two quarters where either team scored over 25 points. The first quarter it was 18-21. The second quarter it was 29-13. Houston Rockets, they held Rockets to 13 points. Third quarter, Golden State scored 22, Houston Rockets 26. Golden State in the fourth quarter scored 24, Houston Rockets 25. That was such a low scoring defensive game to where, I don't think all of them games is going to end up like that. But like I said, Houston do play some defense. So, I don't think that's not the Warriors game. The Warriors game is more offense than defense, but I believe that he made Idoka, that's his calling card. See, he made Idoka did the he if you ask Ime Idoka, if you keep the Warriors under 95 points, would we win? You ask me, you keep the Warriors under 95 points, would they win? But he only scored 85. So I believe that they should be able to find some more offensive power from somebody. Let me check their
yeah,
score.
you know who they was missing,
Who?
who didn't really show up last night was Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green. It's funny you said that. You're right. Jalen Green had 7 points. Sengun had 26, their leading scorer off the bench. Their second leading scorer was Fred Van Vliet. I mean, Jabari Smith Jr. coming off the bench. You're right. I think Jalen Green should have a better game. He had 7 points. So Jalen Green only had 7 points, and then Dylan Brooks had 11. So one thing about it that Sengun did his thing, number 20. He did his thing. So I knew that he was going to do it because he's their center, and just throw the ball into him. I don't think nobody on the Warriors can actually hold him. That boy is a beast. But and then Jabari Smith, and then you had the bench only gave him. They only got about 12 and 23 points off the bench.
Yeah, I
So
think
they're gonna have
if
they're gonna need
Jalen
more from
Green
that
puts
bench.
up, if he puts up 20 points, you know, you looking at a victory because, like you
Yes, yes,
said,
yes, yes. You're exactly right. If Jalen Green go out there and have a good game, which next game, if he go out there and have a good game, I believe he win. But like I said, this time you got playoff Jimmy. You got two defenders now, still premier defenders So I don't know if you Xing Jalen Green out by putting Jimmy Butler on him. So maybe you Xing him out because Jimmy Butler is still a premier defender, which I think that's what's holding maybe Jalen Green back if they putting Jimmy Butler.
yeah, but
So
when your shot's not falling, right? Like when I played ball, right? If your shot's not falling, I was always a shooter. And so one thing I learned is that if my shot ain't falling, then I'm just about to go to the basket and get fouled. I'm a drive, I'm gonna make contact, get fouled, and then use the free throw line to see that ball go in a few times. Once you see that ball go in, now you can kind of reset yourself. And I think Jalen Green um didn't change his game. 7 points. That's not even 2 points a quarter. So it's like you literally could have just been a little bit more physical on the offensive side and drew some more fouls and been able to get in double digits. I think that's where the 10 points comes into play. And you needed Steph Curry and Jimmy in the fourth quarter to damn near
be
create
perfect.
magic, yeah,
Be
to win
perfect.
it. So it's like Jalen Green, I put that on him as a young player. I think Amen Thompson was playing really good defense on Steph to begin the game. And I think I just put that on Jalen Green. You got to execute, bro. Like,
I think Jalen Green will be better next game. I think at the end of the day, one thing about a 4 game series, you can get ahead and go out there and make adjustments. They're going to make adjustments. They're going to make adjustments. But I tell you, after game 2 or 3, there's no adjustment. So at the end of the day, I think the Houston Rockets going to come out there and protect. They lost home court advantage. So now they got to go ahead and not have momentum swing over to Golden State. But when I was what about the Cavaliers game last night? The Cavaliers 101, the Miami Heat Cavaliers 121. You had Donovan Mitchell come off the bench with 30. I mean, Donovan Mitchell started with 30 points. Darius Garland with 27. But the one that stuck out to me was Ty Jerome, the rookie. His first playoff game, the boy go out there and score 28. It looks like the Cleveland Cavaliers could possibly have a nucleus on their hands with Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and this guy Ty Jerome. He came off the bench with 28 points, and then you got Jared Allen with 12 points, 11 rebounds, always have a solid game. Evan Mobley had 9 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. I think we Evan Mobley had a subpar game compared to what he can have, but the story of the game is Ty Jerome.
yeah,
That
yeah.
boy came out. He's a rookie. He's in a high profile game for them to be putting him in, and he come in to do 28 points. Cleveland got a lot of upside. What you think about Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean Cleveland to me is going to the Eastern Conference Championship. I think they got enough. And I think you always got to remember, like, Donovan Mitchell can literally drop 50, 60 on your head top if he get into a groove. Like, he's one of those dynamic scorers. And I think even if those other guys don't show up, he can cover what he's supposed to do and what you're supposed to do. So I think as long as they stay healthy, they're gonna be all right. I think um, what's with Jared Allen. I think with Jared Allen, they need a little bit more rebounds from him so they can be able to make sure that like he is consistent throughout the playoffs. I would like him to get 15 plus rebounds a game. You know, he's tall enough and big enough to do it. I think because they're gonna need that when they play the Celtics. They're gonna need that when they go further in the playoffs. So you got to start executing that now. You know,
I
yeah, I
mean,
think he had eight rebounds in the first half. So I think
who?
he only got like 2 or 3 in the second half. So you got to
Jared
be a little
Allen?
bit more consistent.
Who you talking about? Jared Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, Jared Allen, when he first got picked out of college, I said that boy was going to beast when the next drafted him. With the Afro, I said something about him. And when he came in the league, I just said he just been a bored machine. I don't think the Knicks could have traded him, should have traded him. But at the end of the day, he had he always have a solid game. I love Jared Allen. Shout out to him. But then last night you had Bam Adebayo with 24 points, Andrew Wiggins with 14 points, Tyler Hero 21 points. Tyler Hero was on fire last day. Tyler Hero I think is a star up in the making. And then you had Davion Mitchell. That boy is fast, great defense, and I believe there's a huge upside for Davion Mitchell. Shout out to him, and I think it's going to be more and more in tune. Keep your eyes on Davion Mitchell. But then my Miami bench is suspect, and that's what's going to play a part in this series. It's the Miami bench. I don't think they'll be able to hold the lead or sustain a comeback. So that's the thing. I think Miami need another player. I think they should go out there even get Kevin Durant because they do have draft picks now. They have money. I think Kevin Durant will be a good fit in there. Then you go out there and get you some role players out there, and then go out there. But I think Kevin Durant will be a good fit. I think it's some teams like Orlando should be in play, Detroit should be in play, and Miami should be in play because these are teams that don't have to really gut their team. They can actually give up these draft picks that they have that they sitting on, and they got other people's draft picks via trade. So I think Miami going to have a lot of things in it. Next this year's free agency coming up, I think they're going to change the landscape of their team. But
But
also,
hold on. One thing I add on to that, right? When you look at the culture of Miami and you look at their front office, like Miami doesn't do well with trades. When people are traded to Miami, they end up not happy and wanting to leave. You know, Shaq got traded down there. He wanted out. He left. He got his ring. He left. LeBron went to 4 straight championships and then left. Jimmy Butler went to 2 or 3 championships, then he left. So I think they got to get theirs from the draft.
but Pat Riley, one thing I like about Pat Riley, he know when to get up off you. He knows
Yeah.
when to get up off you. Like Bill Belichick, he'll trade you a year early. Look at Tom Brady. He traded him a year early, but he still has some juice left. So one thing about Pat Riley, I can actually say he's not going to steal your equity. Mostly people gonna wait till you get down and dirty to steal your equity where they can't get nothing for you. Pat Riley was going to get up off you. He's not going to give Dwayne Wade that big money. Look how it's worked out for Chris Paul. Look how it's working out for Bradley Beal, and you giving these people this contract with the back load at the end. So when they get about 30, he's going to sign Jimmy Butler. But when Jimmy Butler get 39 years old, his last year of the contract going to be collected 70 million. It's hard to trade a guy like that. It's hard to trade a guy like when you had Chris Paul making 50 million in his last 2 years. Bradley Beal is on his last 2 years making 50 million. How that's working out for Phoenix? They couldn't get up off him on the trade deadline. So it's one thing I like about Pat Riley. He knows when to. He's not going to give you the money because he understands he's not going to cripple his team. He don't want to backload the money. Now, when you look at everybody's not going to play out that backload like a LeBron James or somebody like even Kawhi Leonard. But when you start giving Paul George's that people that's hurt now, and you want to give them that longevity money, I'd rather give it to a younger person. I don't want to pay a 38-year-old, 39-year-old player the last 2 years, 60 and $90 million. And then the NBA salary is just going to keep going up. So one thing I can say about Pat Riley, he's a shrewd businessman, but he's not going to hurt his future, mortgage his future for today. Because at the end of the day, he showed that I could still build a team.
But
He got
he
rid of,
built
got
the
rid of
way
Wade. He got rid of Wade, went back to the championship. He got rid of somebody else and got Jimmy Butler, went to the championship. So he's the only proven commodity that says, I'm not going to re-sign a star. I'm going to ship you out, but I'm going to
yeah.
show you if I can get back to the championship. And that's what he did. So until he do something wrong, until he show me something different, I have to believe in Pat Riley and how he's running his organization.
Yeah, but you gotta also look at it like this, right? He can get back to the championship, but he only wins the championship by big signing trades. Meaning that when Miami traded for Shaquille O'Neal, that's when they won the championship. When Miami traded for LeBron James, that's when they won the championship.
But when
And
they
these,
had Wade, they won a championship without trading for nobody.
but they had Shaq on that
Yeah,
team.
but see, they didn't have they. But if you look at what Pat Riley said, he said I didn't want to give up Lamar Odom. I did not want to give up these players, but I did. I wanted to keep Lamar Odom in the draft. He did not want to give up them three that what he gave up for Shaq. But at the end of the day, he did. He did not want to give up. But look what he did. He sent Lamar Odom to the Lakers, and look what Lakers did with Lamar Odom. He sent these players over there, and look what they did.
Yeah, but
So
see,
he sent
but
Grant over there. He sent Lamar Odom over there. He sent some players over there for Shaq. But
yeah,
they won one for the now. But the future was dead. He mortgaged his future for one game, one chip. Then gave the Lakers away Odom and got them three straight champions and lost one to Boston. But sent them the three straight champions. They should give Pat Riley a bottle of wine for that trade because they came out for the now, like they said, with the Luka trade and Anthony Davis trade is the same. Yeah, it may work out for now, but you gave away your future. So Pat Riley knew
but
I
so
gave I gave
how
up
how
my
do you how do you not re-sign LeBron? How do you not make LeBron happy when he takes you to four straight championships and win
because
you two?
Pat Riley wasn't going to let LeBron James dictate what he do. LeBron James dictate what they did. He did, but now LeBron James was a dictator. So at that was a young LeBron James, and no general manager is going to turn over their reins to a player. Look at what happens when they do that. They don't want the other send a message out. So Pat Riley wanted to let him know, I am the boss,
This
and let
this
him
is
know
what
he's
I
the boss, and return to the championship twice. Returned back without a LeBron James, even though you lost. But it showed that he didn't need LeBron James didn't get us there.
yeah,
Wait,
but
we got to get.
this is what I say like right. Which you're absolutely right. They went back to the championship off of Jimmy Butler's
The
back.
Lakers, they played the Lakers in one, and then they went back.
But you got to think LeBron went to five more straight championships after
But
he left Miami.
but Cleveland went to none.
No,
LeBron James, Miami, is went to damn near two. The finals
no,
in the Eastern Conference. The finals.
Cleveland went to five straight championships.
Once LeBron James left, where did Cleveland go to this day? Nowhere. He
No,
left,
that's what I'm saying. So, but what I'm saying is, I think LeBron in Miami. I think if LeBron doesn't go to Cleveland, right? He did 4 years in Miami. I think he could have did 4 more years in Miami. I
I
think
don't
Pat
think so
Riley
because
should have
Wade.
figured
I
out.
don't think so. He knew Wade didn't have 4 more years. He knew
But
it.
that's when you start bringing up other people, right?
But
Like
see, he knew Chris Bosh didn't have 4 more years. If I'm looking at Wade and Chris Bosh, and it Tom told that they was deteriorating, and this man signed a 4 more year deal, and this guy claimed to be a king, nobody was going to play with LeBron James. Everybody wanted to beat him. So if he would have stayed in Miami for those 4 years, look where he left Cleveland and went to L.A. Paul George could have went over there with him in free agency and went over to Clippers. Everybody, nobody, he went over there by himself. And everybody wanted to beat LeBron James. So if he would have stayed in Miami and within them 4 years, Wade would have been on his last leg, Bosh would have been gone, and LeBron James would have been a target for everybody to take a shot at. And or be a superstar and be a Kobe Bryant. And being a Kobe Bryant was an outlier because not one man could do it no more in this league no more. So yeah. I don't think
you might be right. You might be right. Pat Riley might be a genius there, bro.
Yeah, because he knew. Pat Riley knew. And at the end of the day, name me one team that actually traded away a superstar and went to the championship. A superstar.
Yeah.
And went back. Cleveland hasn't been back. LeBron, Chicago hasn't been back. The Lakers hasn't been back until they got LeBron, Kobe Bryant. San Antonio hasn't been back because they ain't got nobody. So you name me one person that the star walked away outside of Miami who went back to the championship. When a superstar, not no cornerstone, not no Kevin Durant. Now I give it to OKC, they can make it there, but you know they didn't let Kevin Durant leave. He walked out the door. I'm talking about Oklahoma City would have never let him leave. So
yeah. Now you right though. I think I think you're right. I think Pat Riley does a good job at being able to do kind of like what the Green Bay Packers does with quarterbacks. They can tell when you on your last leg, even when you're playing at the top level, it's somehow they know this ain't gonna last for 2-3 more years, so we need to get rid of you while you have trade value.
There you go. Granted, LeBron James has did everything he did. When it comes to Pat Riley, granted, he must get to today's era and understand today the way business is done today, and the minds and the characters he's dealing with today. I think that should change. I think the overall the way doing business and the way that the mind frame thinks and the way these young kids is coming into the league today with the coaches and mixed coaches, I think he could do a little pivoting in there, a little pivot there. But as far as running a team, being an organization, I mean, he's been doing a great job. I believe he's going to get a star.
Yeah,
he showed us all the time. He got Jimmy Butler. He's going to get a star because when Pat Riley sit down with you and put them rings on the table from multiple organizations.
Yeah, you're right though. He definitely has to change his ways with dealing with these new players that's up and coming, because what we're about to start seeing is this first wave of NIL college players coming into the league. So you're about to see these players that are probably already breaching $1 million status, if not more, come into the league, and they already had their egos. They already had agents. They already got the spotlight. And so you definitely got to change your ways with dealing with these younger players now.
Like I tell people, nobody's coming in the league broke anymore. You're not sitting on somebody's couch convincing them that they got to come in the league to get money because the NIL is here. When that guy get in the league, his mom already got a house. When that guy come in the league, his mom already got money. His mama, I got it right now. The guy just transferred in the transfer portal. He got $4 million from NIL. So when he get ready to go to the league, some people don't even care about the NBA or NFL or anything else because the NIL is making you rich. You ask me, do Shazor Sanders need this? No. At the end of the day, the NIL money he's making, the NIL Travis Hunter is making, the NIL Cam Ward is making, the NIL Abdul Carter is making. At the end of the day, they millionaires.
Yeah.
Archie Manning, his grandson is in college. Everybody's taking for him. You know how much that guy making off NIL? A lot of money.
Yeah,
So these guys, you got to understand now that these guys are going to come in and now that do I want to play here or if I don't play here, I'm going to play basketball. I mean, I'm going to play across seas. I'm going somewhere else because I'm rich. I done bought my mama a house. My mother done got home already. My mother done got a business with that
yeah,
NIL money. So it's a culture now that's changing. And I think that the NIL shouldn't have came here in the first place. But hey, it's here now. You destroying the sports because now these players can just go into college now. Now my son could go into college, your son can go into college and stop there and go get 20, $30 million and say I retire because I don't want to deal with the rigors of the NFL and their propaganda.
yeah. Now I like the NIL. What I don't really like is the NIL mixed with the transfer portal. That's what I really think is like the issue. The NIL, if you had these players that stayed at the school for 3 to 4 years at the same school, then now it's worth investing. But even when you look at college basketball, like I know the girls players more than I know the male players. You know what I mean? And it didn't used to be like that. I used to know all of the male players, but they switched schools so much to where it's hard to keep track of where they're going. Like I didn't realize that Caleb Love had went from UNC to Arizona last year until like they got back into like the Sweet 16. And I'm
And you
like,
know, and
I
you
thought
know,
he went overseas and played or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
and,
where did the dude go?
and you know what's crazy? I think the NIL is helping the WNBA though. Because the name,
Yeah.
image, and likeness is growing the NBA because you're getting them likes. So when they get in the NBA, we understand what they worth, the value, and the contracts could be different now. Because now they can set the contracts to what that girl is worth. They could change the first round draft money now. Because the NIL is making them popular now. The name, image, and likeness is like an Angel Reese. She's going out there doing a lot of things to build herself, which is actually building a brand at the same time. So I believe the NIL is actually pumping blood into the WNBA because it's letting us know who the basketball players is today with Caitlin Clark and all these other people that jockeying to come into the NFL. I love what the NIL doing this for the women basketball. Shout out to the women basketball as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. It's looking
But
good for them.
it was a great time, Ronnie. It's about that time. Until next time, we got Mr. Dozier. You want to say, let the people know what you're doing, Mr. Dozier. What type of you got? What you doing, Mr. Dozier? Let me tell you what you doing.
Man, listen, man. First off, man, just make sure y'all follow my channel. Ronnie Reacts is actually Ronnie Dozier Reacts. So check that out on YouTube. Got new music dropping in the summertime. So we're gonna be dropping a couple of singles here, shooting a new music video, man. So check out the music on Ronnie Dozier TV. That's Dozier. So Ronnie Dozier TV on YouTube as well. You can always reach us in our office. I'm actually in my office right now at Complete and Total Care. If you need any credit help, need any mortgage help, wanting to get approved for a home loan, anything of that nature, you can definitely reach out to us at 877-215-4882. If you're in the Winder, Georgia area, in the Lawrenceville, Snellville, Athens area, you can reach out to our Fees Cleaning Commercial Company as well. We have a commercial cleaning company that's taken off, one of the top rated companies here in the North and Middle Georgia area, man. So you can go to Fees Cleaning Services at gmail.com. Hit us up for a free quote. We'll come to your business, give you a quote, give you a discount on the first month of service as well, man. So just doing a lot of positive stuff up in Georgia, man. Just trying to grow businesses, maintain, and get that to that millionaire status, man.
There you go, brother. And there you have it. One thing I can do is his brother's a great guy. He do his wonderful credit repair. At the end of the day, he got me up in the businesses. He's a guy that taught me everything I know. He actually put some of the stuff in me, instilled in me how to go back inside and go back and double down and get more out of what you got. So one thing, he's the epitome of a man, great dad, great father, great fiance, God fearing man. He's definitely that guy, ladies and gentlemen. Go check him out. Ronnie Dozier Reacts page. Is that it? Ronnie Dozier Reacts page?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Make sure you check him out. This guy's a great guy. He's a family man. He's a great father. You reach out to him. He's be there for you. Check out him on all streaming platforms. And one thing we're gonna do next video, we're gonna open up with his song. That's what we're gonna start doing. We're gonna start opening up with a Ronnie Dozier song. So the next video, he's gonna have to let us hear something, y'all. You know, I ain't gonna lie. That's Cinderella.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Cinderella. You listen to what he told his son. She gonna love you. Check that one out. I still love that one. Go check out this one he wrote to his son, Jaden. That's hard, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Because the guy, my man, last night out, shout outs to Julian. I mean, shout outs to everybody out there. He definitely said that was a hot track. Yeah, he definitely has said that was a hot track, Cinderella, man. I still listen to that song because it's like me talking to my son. I just played it and told my son, just listen to this one, son, because you know, he said it for me. She gonna love you, man. She gonna break up with you. He told him everything, man. This ain't gonna be your only girl. And I know his son probably still listen to it to this day. So I love that song. Make sure you check it out on Ronnie Doe. Yeah, this is what we got for you. If you tune in to the next show, it's Mr. 444, and we out. One.
Peace.